Hello, welcome everyone. To another Monday night. First of all, best wishes for everyone. I hope everyone has a lovely and amazing 2023 with lots of good things. Because yes, we're back after the holiday break, which with Christmas and of course the New Year. I hope everyone celebrated it. Did celebrate that, could celebrate that. But yeah, we're already a week into the new year. And that means that we will continue with the final two rounds of the GT season. Which brings us to round 7, which is here at the Tokyo Expressway. Okay, yeah. My mic stopped working suddenly. I was like talking and nothing happened, but yeah, it's good. So yeah, well, I'm back on Tier 2 this week because I'm shifting around a bit this whole season. But we're back on Tier 2. Tier 1 is decided, and I think even the Tier 1 commentator, which is I think X-Rise, or anyone else, is now commentating Tier 3 because that's the closest tier. So, and to be honest, I also have to remind myself of what the actual situation is for Tier 2, but I thought Slimmy was quite clear. Yeah, he is. It's not decided yet, but he's quite clear after his double win just before the Christmas. And from my feeling, I wasn't here for the last round, but I think I was, even for Tier 2. It's just that it is 3 weeks ago, so yeah. Well, I really needed those 3 weeks. The holiday was quite nice to have, but we're back into business now. I already felt that last night when I had to do Monaco for F1. In the F1 50% leagues, it was the Monaco week. But yeah, that one went fine. I finished 4th for the 5,000th time. So, not sure where we're waiting for, to be honest. I think we will go soon. We have some drivers that I can't remember from previous races. Maybe because they changed their name, but also maybe because they're reserves that didn't drive so far. Which is the case for Ian. We have J-Dog. Oh wait, people are actually going out now. Let me wait for that. Look at that. We're on, I don't know, all these loops of Tokyo. This is one of the famous ones, I think. Oh, I'm not even sure though. No, maybe not. I have no clue. Shrimps, Jack, Ross, Filthy, Andres is with us tonight. Payam, Ian, our championship leader Slibby, J-Dog, O'Leary, Smells of Funk, Chris, Tap Shooter, and Pasty, who is last out of the pits. And yes, you can see that correctly, we're driving nighttime, which is lovely to have in Tokyo. I think that's one of my favorite tracks that I like to see in nighttime. To be honest, you can't really drive this daytime. Yeah, you can of course, but not really. It doesn't have my preference. We could say something like that. But I don't think I ever drove Tokyo here on the new GT, the GT7. Yeah, and I did a lot of GT by the way today. And of course I tell some stuff about myself, and you can be like, well, I don't care. Well, yeah, okay, fine, I'm doing it anyway. Nobody has started this lab anyway, so yeah, I did some GT testing today because I'm in the Mind charity event. And yeah, I suck at this game. I technically suck at this game. First of all, I need a Jaguar for that event, and I think that's one of the best cars in Group 4. And second of all, I needed a lot of hours of practice to get used to the game, which is maybe logic since I didn't play it that much so far. I think today was my most productive day on this game. And Shrims is already a little bit out of shape there, and will have Jack on his tail very quickly. But yeah, I'm fine now. I'm within the pack pace-wise over a quali lap, and I know one thing for sure, and that's that when I practice a bit, that I can be at least consistent. That's the first lap, by the way, 1:57.1. That's mainly because like the in lap is very short, or the out lap, you could say that. That's only 30 plus seconds, and of course Slimmy is to pole with a 55.8, which is already 7/10 quicker than Payan. And I just let it unfold itself. I think Pasty is the last one. Not a good first lap by O'Leary, who is only in 12th. And in the case of Pasty, he is 11th with a 59.3. Yeah, O'Leary had a big problem in that lap with a 2:02. So let's follow him to see what he can do better this time around. I have a feeling everybody is a little bit glitch hopping. At certain moments. So Chris went to P2, by the way, ahead of Payan. O'Leary hitting the wall for a bit there, I think I saw that correctly. But he improves by 3.4 seconds. Maybe he just also backed off because of traffic. It's very busy in a certain portion of the track. Chris is behind him, by the way, on the track. I can remember this layout of Tokyo, but maybe it's always the same layout, but the direction you drive it in is different. Trims improving to P3, and all times are being improved. So it was not really necessary to follow O'Leary on this lap around. And Chris will be held up a bit, I think, and is hitting him. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. I think O'Leary would be a little bit done with this so far already. He improves though with 1.5 seconds, but he is lost because he was literally being compromised, and Chris went to P7. So fastest is Filthy with a 55.2. I think Slimmy didn't improve. He indeed didn't. He had a 2 minute and is now 5th behind Ian, Smells of Funk with a very good lap, and Ross, who has a penalty now and is slipstreaming Jack, and now passing Jack, not passing him. But Ross has a bit of an issue. I don't know where the penalty line is, so where will we see this? They're fighting like it's the race. Oh, he's in. Did Slimmy improve? No, he didn't. It's just that the gap is 5,000 and that I didn't saw that. Couple went into the pits. Shrims continued. He's only 8 thousandths faster than Payan. His second run was a 56.5. There's the penalty line. Oh. Coming across the line, doesn't improve. Payan then, Ian in the slipstream. And Payan improves time-wise. Yes, he does, but it doesn't light up. 56.2. Is it also, yeah, it's recognized as a 56.2. He's in 8, he has passed Shrims. O'Leary finally with a run. Chris had a free run and went to P2. O'Leary improved to 11th. And Shooter also improved, but he doesn't gain a position with it. He's now only 100th behind Shrims with a 56.6. And maybe Pasty is 4 seconds off. Does improve by 3/10. They still last. And let's see what Andres can do. He's almost last, but they have a gap of 9/10 to... Oh wait, this is his first lap. Okay, I'm sorry. So Filthy now in the slipstream of Chris, he's only 29,000 faster at the moment. Ian is in third, slipstreaming with Payan. Funk is on his own. Let's see what Jack can do. Slibby is still in 5th. He is improving massively, if I can believe the time. He did a slowdown. Yeah, he did a pit lap, I think. Yeah, 2:13. Like you can just dive in the pit. In the lap, it doesn't go well. Oh fuck. Okay, I'm sorry. Jack improves by only 2.5 though, and is still in 8, 7,000 behind Shrims, who also improved. Let's see what our new guy can do. J-Dog. Filthy remains in P1. J-Dog with... no, not an improvement. 56.8. Slibby is now on his own on the track. Let's see what he can do then over a lap. Or at least let's follow him for a bit. He's now on his own and he's like very close in between Ross and Shrims. But he's only in P6 at the moment. Filthy is still fastest. Let's see if Chris can improve. No, he comes close though, but... And also Slibby doesn't show up any green times at the moment, so... This is his final attempt, I think. I think Filthy is gonna get pole. And Slibby hitting the wall even there, so... Not a good day in the office for a championship leader. He has the slipstream of Pasty at the final moment, but he doesn't come any further than P8. Andres, and there is one other guy still on the run? This is the best run by Andres of the day, indeed. But it doesn't bring it any further than 13th. There's only one guy still on a run. Who's that? Payan. Oh no, he isn't. He just drove on. Okay, so Filthy on pole. A very good performance. For him. With Chris on the first row. And then Ian. Shrimps. Smells of funk. I know Chris and Shrimps can be fast, but for the other three I have no clue, to be honest. So here we are. Let's go. And we're on the way, and a very poor start by Ian. He was literally being pushed away, and he's not even gonna lose a position with it. That's interesting. Further down, it's almost 3 wide. The top 3 is gone and away, and Shrimps is holding on to P4 ahead of Smells of Funk. And Jack is taking a look. Oh, this is the braking zone here. J-Dark is coming on the inside. Oh my god! Disgraceful. That's embarrassing. Oh, that's awful. I now am reminded why we need stewards in this. Jesus Christ. So the good qualified position of Funk is immediately now being, it's torn in pieces. He's way to the back in 13th. He almost lost contact with the group. Oh my god, embarrassing. That was Payan with that dive. That was not acceptable. He surely couldn't find his brakes. Andres tried to benefit a bit, but is passed by O'Leary here. Oh wow, oh my god, O'Leary, don't do that. And he's now getting passed by Slimmy, who's also been called up. Slimmy going for 2 moves. And maybe can go for a third one, since Pasty has been passed by Payan. Further up ahead, it's fine now for Ross, and he's catching Jack off guard in that corner. And Jack is a bit all over the place at the moment. Oh, there is a car. Oh my god, Shrimps has spun. And luckily Ghosted is a thing. And he was in a very good position and is now last. Let me leave so I can proper spectate this now. So Filthy in the lead with Chris and Ian, and they were not part of course, the big carnage that happened into the first big break-in zone. It's even that much that Chris is going for the attack. They're already 4 seconds ahead of like everyone. And why can't I say see shit? No, oh, those are teammates by the way, so they will do this nicely. Chris will take an outside line, a very long outside line, but he can't make it work. Filthy defending the inside pretty nicely, and then there is a small touche there with Ian, who basically barges his way through because of that. And yeah, there is a little bit of a hargy-bargy and people just hitting each other, and of course there's not a lot of space on this track. It's hard to get out of the way of someone if you even lose it on your own, especially in battle. But yeah, surprisingly a lot of contact so far already. So these 3 are still up to date, and maybe Ian can now attack full front. Further back, Ross benefited massively. Wait, I saw something. It was Chris with an attempt on Ian, but didn't work. So Ross benefited. I think also J-Dark was not in the top 10 on the grid, and he is driving in 5th, just benefiting from the accident that happened there, and is under much pressure here by Jack, first of all. And Jack choosing the outside line there, and I think Payan would love to follow. Jack on the inside there now. Contact with the wall from J-Dark. Oh, and a big crash by him. Luckily, I don't think he affected a lot of others that much. And he's rejoining a bit dangerously, but I think he was still ghosted, and a crash brings you back to last, technically. Filthy broke through a bit, that is because Chris made the move on Ian. And Filthy has a second because of that, and Chris is back in to second. Not the second. yeah, Ross also broke through from that entire group because of the fighting. It elevated Jack into P5, Payan is pressuring, but it is a side-by-side here between Slibby, who's on a resurgent, and it's now side-by-side with Andres, and passing Andres in the eventually, and the same goes for Smells of Funk, who has passed O'Leary. Way too much action, unreal. Fastest lap now 56.6 by Shrimps. That was when he catched back up to the field. Yeah, this is very much a thing. Let's go back. Chris is indeed catching up a bit to Filthy, back to 610s. And further behind, Payan is really lighting up a move on Jack. Those are also teammates, right? That's a good camera angle. That's a good camera angle. And Payan now here on the inside. And he got the move. And his ridiculous dive bomb from earlier. Jack with a good comeback, a very good one. Had much more traction over there. He's still a little bit all over the place. And they're fighting each other, and that prevents them from getting closer to Ross though. But they have a clear gap behind, where I think Slibby made another mistake. He indeed did. He is gone, and that means that Andres is back into 7th. With Smells of Funk tried to come back. O'Leary tried to come back from an awful qualifying session. And he's gonna pass him even over here. And made that work quite easily? Maybe? No, he's going wide. And Funk is back past again. Teammate of O'Leary, indeed that's Slimmy. He worked his way through after that mistake past Pasty maybe, or maybe he wasn't behind him anyway. And the last two are also in a big battle, J-Dog and Shrimps. Let's see how Andres defends this from Smells of Funk, who indeed came back on O'Leary and is now back in the attack mode for P7. Oh, that's a bit of a wiggle there. O'Leary is coming once again with a big toe. He's still behind him though. Yeah, he is. They have to clear Andres here, but it's harder than I think both of them expected. Again, Funk went very wiggly there, and there is Slimmy coming for a move. No way. Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's the slipstream of 3 cars ahead. He's not making the move on 3 in a row. Andres stays in front for at least a little bit longer, but that's insane. He is on the inside now here. They're 3 wide almost. But he still can't make it work. Andres is doing a phenomenal job here. Basically guaranteed everyone ahead of a top 6. Slibby into the wall once again. O'Leary passing Smells of Funk. Let me see this like this. As repassing Slibby and passing Andres. And now O'Leary is in 7th. Oh, Slipstream Mahala. This is wonderful. He's not gonna be safe, so Slibby is again gonna try to pass 2 guys at the same time, but there's not enough room here, and Tap Shooter is now also in this battle, to be honest. Oh my god. Yeah, Andres is safe now for a moment. Slibby is repassing. Look how much it can mean if you have a clear run in that section, because Andres has now suddenly a gap, and Slibby repassed O'Leary, and Shooter now up into 10th ahead of Funk, who was challenging for P6 and is now falling back to 11th. Incredible. Further up ahead, Jack really cleared Payan, however Jack has a penalty. And further up ahead, top 3, yeah, Filthy is clear by 1.7. Chris also clear of Ian. It's very good for the team there, for the Corvette team. And Ross is just steadily following. Jack is reeling him in, but he has a penalty to serve. So let's see how that's gonna affect him. Fastest lap by Filthy with a 55.5. Oh, and he's hitting the wall a bit there. And that means, of course, that indeed you see it happening over here. Payan won't have enough of a run to pass him. No, he had just cleared him enough for that penalty. But Ross is clear once again. The top three is also falling apart, to be honest. It's much nicer here. Look at here. Here we go, slipping past Andres, finally. You would say. And now O'Leary is going to try and do the same. Tried to look a bit at the inside, but I think Andres also knows that he has been much longer in this battle than he would have expected, I think. Or is very good at Tokyo, that's also a good idea. Shooter is now coming, and behind that, yeah, there is a bit of a gap to the final three. J-Dog, Pasty and Shrimps are aligned. So finally it's settling down a bit, and we're almost at the end of the race. I'm afraid that Andres is gonna drop back anyway. Tap Shooter on the inside. Yes, he is. But he's alongside now. But not in front. What happened there? Shooter. Oh my god. Sometimes like backing off the throttle is not an option, but it's nice that the guard lines are like not that yeah, they're guiding your car in the right direction. Smells of Funk is now back into this battle and is passing Andres and pushing him to the outside, and unfortunate stuff for Andres that he's back to 11th. Flibby has cleared O'Leary, but yeah, it's not going to be anything better than 7th, I think. Except if these two are going to make each other's life miserable, but I don't think so. Payan is back in the hunt, but a very good section there by Jack gives him almost a second already. Again. Further up ahead, Filthy is really extending his lead over Chris, who has Ian within yeah, close proximity, but not that he really can attack him very soon. It's a little bit different over here though. I think we're going almost into the final lap, or final, yeah, or maybe one more. Further down, O'Leary is still in 8th, but behind there the battle is still a bit ongoing. Or maybe for Law. Well, who do we miss? Shrimps retired. And so the battle for not becoming last is between Pasty and J-Dog, and J-Dog has an awful run over there. So I think he lost his chance. Good stop by Filthy, 2.7 clear. I can't remember him being running for or battling for wins. Is that the problem? That I don't know that? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Filthy is the runner-up in the championship. Can be expected that he's good. So this is big for the title. This is big for the title for him. He also has the fastest lap. I don't know if that's a point in this race. I think it is though, yeah. So this is big, and yeah, further down, I'm not sure how many points you can score. Oh wait, I had to... What's the point system for this? I'm gonna figure that out in the moment, in the break. I'm gonna figure that out in the break. But it's good for him. Payan is also closing in on Slibby, but not by much. And Chris is also closing in on Slibby. But yeah, this is not the main race, of course. There comes Filthy. He is clear by 2.65. Oh, yeah. He drove a very solid race. I'm sorry that I didn't... I just haven't commentated on the races that he did really well. No, I actually didn't. He was just then in the midfield. And that's also the reason why Slimmy built that kind of a lead. But there he comes, through the line. And he's winning here the first race in Tokyo. His second of the season. Ahead of Chris, who had the defense from Ian, who is only finishing within a second. Good run by Ross. Steadily into fourth. Jack is gonna hold on fifth ahead of teammate Payan. Salimi into seventh, O'Leary eighth, and Funk really passed the shooter at the end for ninth. Andres in 11th, and J-Dog actually recovered to 12th. Well done by him. Okay, very interesting when we are done. Let me see what it was. For the constructors, by the way. For the constructors, it's also very close between Corvette and Nissan, but Chris and Filthy basically scored a 1-2 against Slimmy and O'Leary, so I think Corvette is going to go for the constructors. I don't think we have to look any more below than P4, because in fifth it's DDK, who is not here tonight. He would technically still be able to win, but to win it. And behind there were the Lexuses of Froome and Ross, but they were nowhere clear. So, yeah, I found the fact that Slimmy with a P7 is only scoring 4 points. Against Filthy, who gets 15, Payan, who gets 5, and Chris, who gets 12. Filthy goes to 181, Payan to 144, and Chris to 147. And how many points are still to get? Oh wait, there is of course a fastest lap point. Yeah, so 2 extra points even for Filthy, who goes to 183 then. He had pole and the fastest lap. So that makes it interesting, since it means that you can only earn like 26 in the next race. Plus, oh, a lot still, a lot. Yeah, that would be 26 plus 17 is 43, plus another 26 would be 69. So yeah, it's still possible for Payan and Chris, but it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely. It also means that nowhere near we are towards Slimmy crown to champion, because Filthy is basically gaining 11 points onto him, and he's now at 183 and Slimmy is at 202, so 19 points of a difference. So I don't even have to pay attention, I think, to this. I don't think I have to pay attention to this. It would have been the case if Slimmy had a very good race, I think. It's the south counterclockwise. So we were gonna have resource grid, which is a benefit for Slimmy, to be honest. So yeah, 19 points. I don't think he can clinch then the title. Wait, he can of course. Yeah, but he will for sure. They both score points, but Slimmy can win with the fastest lap, which is 26 against. Then he can like gain 25 points. But yeah, there are 2 races next week, so he's surely not gonna. We surely have a title decider the last week, and it makes it more interesting now that the gap has been closed from 32, I think, was to 19. Wait, that's weird. That he gained, according to my calculation, he gained 11. Oh yeah, wait, he did. He gained 11 on the track, and then 2 more, which makes 13 in total. So let's see. Ah. Na, 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 na. Oh, we're ready to go with Pasty on the pole. So Swerves is not here. Oh, he is at the back. Or live. We're underway for the main event. Wait a moment. I was not prepared. So here we go, we have it side by side already. Slibby looking, Payan is really being compromised, and Slibby powers through on O'Leary and is up into P6. And O'Leary will also be passed by Ross likely. But let's see what's happening here. People break in, oh my god, Funk goes into Narnia. He manages though, at least nobody is taken out this time, I think. But Slibby is already up into P5, and Funk has a penalty. And here it's already J-Dog with Shooter and massively compromised as well, so that's another place for Slibby. Surely he really peaking here in the main race, in the main event. Because I think pace-wise he can be at the front runners, especially when he has a better starting position than them, because of an awful race 1. Let's see, Pacey still with the lead, but Shooter is going to take it over. And Andres also down the inside, Pacey with a very wide line. Shooter is indeed compromising himself and Andres by almost spinning into the wall and really holding up Andres because of that. And yeah, I think Slibby's got a lead after one lap, but also because the competition basically gives them positions. However, Smells of Funk is trying to fight back here before he gets his penalty. Great move on Slibby there, but yeah, it will be for nothing. And Slibby now also being oh no, I jinxed him. Oh, that's sad. That's unfortunate. There was nothing he could do about that. It was just like some kind of domino effect, and oh my god, and he's down into 11 now. And in the end, Funk indeed lost some positions. People were clashing with the walls, and suddenly he was being spun around, and J-Dog can come back because of all this. Here on Smells of Funk, further up ahead, Andres is dropping, and O'Leary has a double toe here. He was adjusting his line very well done. Pasty has fallen back to P2. Shooter is gone into the distance, and Andres regains a position, and he's not the only one that regains a position. O'Leary is losing everything where he fought for the last couple of laps, and is now also losing the position back to J-Dog. Yes, he does. Ian coming back here now to 8. I think this is a good time to go to normal spectator mode. So indeed, Shooter is into the lead by 3 seconds, and it's still going very hard battling from P2. I think I prefer this camera angle for these battles, to be honest. Ross is now up into second, really opportunistic driving by him. He can get repassed by Andres. Pasty had an awful line, O'Leary had an awful line. I saw him losing 2 positions in the back. And Ross is now up into second, but is under pressure by Andres, who is following very well, like he did in race 1, where he was just called out by everyone over the long term. And a little bit, and Funk is also back where he kind of deserves to be after his good qualifying position in race 1, in the qualifying, and he's now up into the podium position after starting not that high up, to be honest. Fastest lap also by Shooter, 56.8. Further down, Pasty is in 5th, but J-Dog, Ian are closing in on him. Oh, some contact there. Indeed, Slibby fought his way back up into 8, and now O'Leary is dropping, and he's likely to also lose a place to Shrims here. And Filthy with a double toe, he can go for a double move if he has a good braking point. O'Leary brakes earlier. I also saw something happening up ahead, where Slibby moves up another 2 positions. It's basically back to lap 1 for him. With the only problem that he had to do it all over again. And Filthy hasn't passed O'Leary once again. And it's interesting what happened with Chris and Payan. They're just not in the pack. Maybe because of something happened, but they have the pace, to be honest. And championship decisively over them for them. Ian with a run on Pasty, maybe, but I think that's interesting. Ross dropped back. Past Ross, and Andres is back on his tail at the moment. Jack comes from far, but makes the move on Pasty. Slibby had a bit of a wider line, why he is at that maybe will bring him under pressure from Ian. Also further back, who's that? Pasty, yeah, of course. Still very close to Shrims. So Ross has been demoted to 3rd. Shooter has a 3.7 second lead. And of course he's on the softs, and what Ross is doing very well, that he is on the medium tire. That's the big beneficiary factor for him. Slibby is also mediums. Ian, Jack, Shrims, I think everyone down from here, except for Filthy and Chris. Wait, did they make a pit stop? Ah, they made a very early pit stop, both of them. So that's why they're on the sub. So indeed, mediums all along from this moment onward. Good battle here by Ian and Jack. Ian coming back on Jack. So in the top 5, only Ross on mediums. In the top 5 on softs, except for Ross, the rest is on mediums. Yes. I'm settled. Slibby is going for another move on J-Dog, who was doing a very good job in P5 so far. Also up ahead, Ross really has to defend from... Oh, and Ross had to defend from him, but there Slibby is a bit compromised by the fact that J-Dog goes very deep into that corner. And so he gains, but also loses a position, technically. And it, invites Jack into this battle. And Slibby now has to overtake Ian, and that's maybe a bit more of a problem since Ian showed pace in race 1. J-Dog back on the tail of Slibby now. Jack with a drifter to the corner, and Shrims is now also in this fight. Ian also with the fastest lap, 56.1. But he has to defend here from Slibby. Oh, contact there. And that's not really how you want to make that overtake. Don't think Slibby is going to give it back though. Don't think he has to. But Ian is now massively under pressure. They're all putting Slibby, by the way, under pressure. And Jack knowing he will brake late? No, we don't. He chooses the safe option this time. Ian back on the inside there on Slibby, but the corner will come back to him if he stays there. But he hits the wall a bit, but Ian hits a different wall. And an almost identical battle ongoing behind, where Shrims is also back into contention. This is the battle to be. No room left there. That's a bit of J-Dog's own fault indeed. I think he was substantially alongside. And that eliminates him from this battle, and also he loses a position to Payan and Pasty. And O'Leary, I think O'Leary really went on. Yeah, He had to lift there because he didn't do what J-Dog was going to do. But let's see. Slibby has a penalty. Is going very wide once again, and Jack is gonna make 2. Oh no, don't do that. Don't touch each other there. You can go 3 wide over here, but it's not really recommendable, I think. And it massively benefits Jack, to be honest. He did that very well. Further up ahead, Ross has completely lost touch to Smells of Funk, maybe also tire-wise. Filthy with the fastest lap, but he is way down the grid. And Ross is still under pressure by Andres, who keeps him honest. Further down, Slibby is definitely gonna lose the place to Ian because of the penalty. Payan is recovering himself. Really pushed off the pressure that Pasty gave him. And O'Leary also coming back. Where is Filthy then, indeed? Yeah, he's over here. But he pitted, that's also the difference. He pitted very early though. But he has only 9 seconds to close to Shrimps. So I think closest battle actually is over here with Ian and Slibby once again, still fighting for 6th. Which is since the spin from Slibby, he like, well, yeah, he has been in the mix at the battle for P6 for the side by side once again. They can work together if they want to catch up to Jack. Slibby back up ahead, but there are so many long straights where Ian, especially with similar pace, can come back on Slibby. They're closing in Jack a bit, I think, but Slibby defends the inside. Only thing that he doesn't go wide this time. That really helps, and then he spins. Oh wow, can you do that with a car? Or is that the reset to track in this game? Interesting, but yeah, he lost again some of his progress, I think 5 seconds. And it also gives him a battle here with Pasty, who's passing him. Yeah, who's passing him, technically. So yeah, that's a bummer. Further up ahead, Shooter has 4.7 seconds over Smells of Funk, where I think his tires are dropping off. And Ross sees that, and he also distanced Andres a bit, so lap 7 is the moment when the mediums come into play. And that can be very beneficial for Ross, who can still aim for a top 5 finish in the championship this year. That's his legit, yeah, that, to be honest, I think he will be aiming for a win or what. I think that's the goal now, but it can become hard, especially because some people pitted very early and are doing great lap times so far. Jack still has a second over Ian, and Slibby got the position back over Pasty and has now tried to catch back to Payan, who is 1.3 ahead of him. O'Leary and Shrimp still following, and these are the guys that already pitted. And there's actually a battle here where J-Dog is passing Chris on newer softs. An awful race too for Chris so far, although he pitted. That's of course something we have to take into consideration. But let's see if he can follow here. So there are basically only 3 that stopped, yeah. And Jado didn't went for fuel, I think. Ian is closing in on Jack for 5th. Interesting, both are on mediums. I think almost all soft runners from the beginning have pitted. Yeah, there are only 3 left, I think. The Andres, Smells of Funk, and Shooter. Who's still doing personal best? No, he isn't. So all gaps are larger than the second, except this one where Chris comes back on J-Dog. They're only 34 seconds on the lead though. Pit lane is not very long here though, although you would think it is. can really see that J-Doc is new and new in this car, in the Peugeot, because he only has 93 kilometers in them. And Chris has like 5,000. It finally settles down a bit after 15 minutes. Oh, penalty for O'Leary upcoming. I think that's gonna cost him a position to Shrimps. What if you dive into the pits before the penalty? Then surely the penalty will stay, right? He did a personal best though last lap. Into the 57th. It's nowhere near. It's interesting that some went for very early pit stops after 2/3 laps. But in the last 5 laps, nobody went for it. Very good run, by the way, from O'Leary on Pasty, but I don't think he will be able to really benefit from this. And that's unfortunate, since this was going to show up a nice 3-way battle for 9th. Oh, lol. Shrimps already has the run on him because he clipped the wall there, and he's gonna definitely pass him here. And the problem is for O'Leary that Filthy is already on only 3 seconds less even behind him. There he comes. 2 seconds. You lose so much momentum. You lose more than actually the second that you have to be stationary. The gap is back to 1.8 for Filthy, who had done 4 55.3s in a row. So he is really in contention for the win. He just took a pit stop very early. But I don't know what that's gonna bring him, since his softs are still going down massively and he didn't went for fuel, or not for a lot. He will be able to pit later than others though, so. But yeah, his days of free traffic will be over very soon. It's interesting how the softs get a new life, or was struggling now. Since Smells of Funk. Oh, he goes into the pits? No, he had a big moment there. Shooter is in. He goes for another lap. Andres too, but Andres is good on tire wear. So Smells of Funk into the lead. And Ian once again closing up here on Jack. Oh, Slibby lagged out? Oh no. I can't invite anyone, right? No. Oh, that's very awful, by the way. Because that's, yeah, in his case 2 points, I think, if he's finishing last. And indeed, Filthy is on his way to really turn the title battle upside down. Although he has to survive this battle with O'Leary, but he manages. And is up into 9th. He can actually go for, if Slibby doesn't, well, he completely left, so you don't have anything like a car that's driving in AI mode for you. You're done then. So I'm afraid it's internet connection. Yeah, disconnected. Oh my god, and you can't return, and that's the most awful thing. So this is big in the championship, to be honest, since that gives Filthy, like with a podium finish, he will take over the lead in the championship. I think, yeah, with a podium finish or even a top 5, and of course he's not yet there, but he's in a very good position to become there, and he has now the little bit laggy Pacey in ahead of him. Funk is in, Andres is in, so the soft runners are finally in after 10 laps. And almost 20 minutes though, so if they go to the mediums now, they're fine. But like Filthy is not gonna make it on the soft, so he will stop again. And of course we'll have superior pace over portions of the race. His last lap was a 55.6, so it's not that bad, but this lap is really costs him. Sitting here behind Pasty, with even O'Leary catching back up. Further up ahead, yeah. Yeah, the lap of, he has a 57.6. He has a run on Pasty now though. However, he's still there. I'm curious if O'Leary can benefit from the tow here. So yeah, Shooter fell back, but he's only 10 seconds behind this group, so... And he can make it till the end, I think. He can make a soft medium work. Some of the guys are doing a medium to soft, so... yeah. I think fuel-wise maybe a bit of an issue, but not yet. So Filthy is solidly up into 6th. Further up ahead, a 6.5 second lead for Ross at the moment. And these three guys are following here. Jack again close to Payan on track. And Ian is in between both of them. Oh, wait, was Jack count? He was trying to cover him, I think, but it didn't work because Ian came from far. Wait, Jack is surely only doing one more lap, fuel-wise. He burned through his fuel. He's the first I see that has fuel problems, to be honest. Oh, yeah, problems. Yeah, he has to try to stretch the softs then, I think. Fuel-wise, it's fine. That's a very awful corner by him. We'll give Payan a run on him. They're back again, like they were in race 1. Ian showed some good pace here, and Jack actually lets him through. Maybe he also realized that he doesn't have a full lap of fuel, and he is lift and coasting through some sections. And just this is pure on the slipstream, to be honest. I would stay in the slipstream and save the fuel, indeed. I think. But this is also fine. He repasses Payan. Ross is still gaining, by the way, these guys. Some others went into the pits, I think. Pasty, yes, and smells of fun. Shrimp's holding a little bit of a lead over Filthy at the moment. But Filthy went for the 2-stop. They're all in.
Jack! What are you doing?
I find it quite amusing that the pit lane is just a parking garage here. It's not realistic whatsoever in the amount of positions they have, but yeah. Ross was also in, by the way. Or is in. Everyone is in. The whole top 7, all medium runners are in. And it elevates Jack into the lead, but that is because he didn't took any fuel. Oh my god. I was already thinking, how can he be in the lead? He has no fuel. He has no fuel. He can come in next lap. And he's under pressure by Shooter, by the way. Ross did a good stuff though. He is on softs. He only has to make sure he stretched him until the end, but he makes... Yeah, he's really into the battle for the win. 2.8 to shooter, but on better tires that he has to manage a bit better though. Andres is also still in the hunt, but Ian is coming for him now and passing him for P4. He is also the soft. But these guys, do they have enough fuel? They will go for a very conservative strategy on the fuel, surely. Especially Andres. I don't think he ever can make it, to be honest. That's also the reason why he's here, to be honest. Smells of Funk is fine though. Bayan is also fine on new softs. Filthy pitted for another set of softs, but is in 8, so... But there are surely some people ahead of him that will fall behind him. However, I don't know with Jack, he can do a very quick pit stop and be very close to Filthy if the gap is 19.7. Pasty also has to save a lot of fuel, maybe even too much. Shrimps is fine. Oh, wait. What? And Jack is in. And indeed, softs all for the win for Shrimps and O'Leary, but they're far off the lead. And for Chris, he has never been able to recover. Although he's doing purple times now. He had a 2:05 in a specific lap. And that was not his pit stop lap, so that's the problem a bit. So where is Jack? He also has a penalty. He only has to fuel though. He doesn't have to fuel that much, I think. Yeah, he is down the drain. How much does this take? How much is this? He comes up just ahead of Chris. Yeah, he basically fucked himself. Oh, he took new tires. Yeah, well. Okay, that's a race over for him. So for Filthy, that's nice. That's another position, up to 7th. And 6 is within sight, with the only issue that Payan is on the same strategy. Or they are now on the same strategy. And he's hitting the wall, so this can be very easy for Filthy. Can take a look what Filthy has to score if he wants to take over the lead. I think it has to be... this is not enough yet, I think. Actually. But he's lucky that I think Andres will be in fuel trouble. The gap that he has to close now is enormous though. That's huge. 9 seconds. But it can be that Andres has to save a lot, and Ian too, by the way. And Payan will try to stay close with Filthy, to be honest. Let me see how much he has to score. Oh, yeah, it's 19 points behind. Of course, there's a point for fastest lap, which he got. So to tie Slimmy, he has to finish in 4th. To tie Slimmy. Since he has the fastest lap, of course. But I don't think anyone is going to get it away from him. Because Filthy himself is driving 55.8 now, so... And won't have an ideal slipstream. So, yeah, P4. And is P4 in the possibilities? I don't know. I think indeed what we see here is Smells of Funk passing Andres, who is saving fuel. But I think also has to stop, to be honest. So he gets a free position by that. Payan is now in a battle with him. Still. And is actually passing him? Very cool fight here though. He is passing him. But they will, yeah, this will be the battle for 5th then. If that's the case. Oh, it's funny, in the background it's Shrimps and Pasty, by the way. He will battle for 5th. because they will pass Andres, I think. He has to pit. And then it's gonna decide how much fuel Ian, I think he also has to pit. Ross trying to take the lead and tap in Shooter. Oh, that's a problem. Because Shooter losing two positions now. Of course, Ian is fuel-wise not in the same range as these guys, but I think it can be possible for Filthy actually to score top 4. I think he can even finish on the podium. I think Ross and Shooter are now the main contenders for first and second. Now suddenly they're out. Yeah. They're 2 seconds apart from each other. Andres is still hanging on the tail of Funk. And they are 6 seconds back and then 8 seconds back. Yeah, this is the problem for Filthy, that he is in a battle with Payan, and that Payan is able to come back on each straight where he passed him. He's still ahead. Further down, Shrimps made the move on Pasty for 8. O'Leary is also still quite close. And the rest, yeah, they're... Chris Championship is also over, by the way, but the same goes for Payan. Not even... He is gaining on Slimmy though. To be honest, he's gaining on Slimmy. Maybe his championship is technically not even over. Especially if he remains ahead of Filthy. Good fight. I think in free air, Filthy did a 57.4 last lap, so in free air, there's a little bit pressed towards the outside there, and Payan really fighting, also for his own shot, of course, of the championship. Andres is indeed in, so this fight is now for P5, and they're gaining a bit on Funk, but not quickly enough. It's gonna be the question how long. Ian is surely gonna pit then, I think. And so this will be then a battle for P4, and that's gonna be insane. That indeed Filthy can tie for the lead, and then we surely need a commentator for the last round next week. Well, I'll be there on Monday. I think I will. Yeah. Filthy is actually not even on his tail at the moment. Ian actually given everything he has to stay close to Ross. But he's going for a splash and dash then. Because his tires are also fine. I think that's the best he can do, to be honest. He's going for another lap. He can do that though. He's actually gonna make a move on Ross here. Not yet. I am very curious if Ross is aware of his fuel situation. Because I don't think it, since Ian showed pace and was in the front group, yeah, well maybe he will be puzzled by the fact that he catched up so much to him, but there is a possibility he's not aware that he has, not even that much how much it differs though. So it looks like because Ross is pushing. 56.3 both guys. Shooter really fell off, but maybe fuel conservation a bit, and the fact that he's on mediums though. Nice fight here between the Honda and the Lexus for the lead. Don't know how much of a legit fight this is, but there was Payan with Filthy, by the way, on the other side of the track. He has to pit. He has to pit now. Maybe only for 2 laps, but miscalculated, or yeah, I think so, because otherwise you won't do this. Oh, Payan is clashing with the wall a bit. He had 1.2 and he might need that. He has more fuel though. He is more settled for P5 than Filthy, so maybe Slimmy actually, he had a perfect weekend last week around, created a gap of 32 points of an advantage, and he really needed that if we look at today. Ian is still out. What's he doing? He's just crashing out Ross. Yeah, there is Shooter now. I think that's a bit... Technically, if Shooter is now benefiting from this, he basically screwed Ross for the win. Since they had a gap, they had almost a 4-second gap. Because he's not gonna win by himself. I think he's going low fuel mode already very soon. Payan took the fastest lap, that's interesting. Then a P4 is even not enough for Filthy to equalize. Then he needs a P3 to be ahead. So we can be very sure, because Smells of Funk is doing a solid job, that Slimmy will remain the championship leader, except if Filthy takes the fastest lap back and takes that position. And Ian pitting. And then he is tying, so it's not even... Oh, Shooter fell off once again. He's almost out of fuel. He can make the pits though, I think. I think he can make the pits. But I think now he's just out of fuel. And that's why Ross is passing him. You can also, yeah, maybe not crash before you pit. Unfortunate. Two laps. He needs 2 laps. He was out of fuel though. There he comes though. He indeed went only for a bit of fuel, but he's even losing 6 to Shrimps. But of course he can try to come back, although his tires almost sure and he has less fuel, but a big gap by the way behind there. No, there wasn't. So yeah, at the rear, J-Dark and Pasty are doing their stuff together. Jack screwed him because of fuel stuff. Payan even improved to 55.1. I think that's better than disqualified now. Andres is though doing the solid run. Chris has recovered a bit and has a small window of opportunity to get P8 from O'Leary. Ian dropped to 7th, maybe can catch up to Shrimps. And for Filthy, especially now he doesn't have the fastest lap, I think that will give him 16 points, right? So he will be 3 behind Slimmy for the final round. And Payan will score the 18 by the way, but he was 60 behind, so he will be technically still in contention. Or maybe not, or maybe by a very small margin. Oh my god, almost indeed. Don't win it now. I think we gotta have the interesting fact that Ross has to commit another lap. I hope he calculated this. His fuel indicator shows that he had indeed thought about this. A little bit less for Shooter. 10 seconds left. And also smells of funk. Who made a big mistake, by the way, somewhere. Or is out of fuel? He has to save his fuel a bit though, more than Payan. And Filthy made it until the final lap. Shrimps finished in 6th. Ian in 7th. O'Leary in 8th. Chris in 9th. Then Andres is coming to the line. Jack was making waves onto him, but he scored a top 10 today. Jack in 11th after his blunder in the pits. Jador coming home in 12th. And Pasty is going very slowly because he's out of fuel. So Ross is gonna win here tonight. Very well done by him. 6.8 seconds of a lead to, yeah, Filthy went into 4th. Smells of Funk is almost out of fuel, but the same goes for Filthy. And Shooter is also almost out of fuel. Payan is gonna benefit here. He was best on the fuel. And there is a small window of opportunity, surprisingly, for Filthy to get to the championship lead by 1 point if Shooter drops off too much. But he has to take care of his fuel too. Is Shooter gonna make it? No, I think he's gonna finish in 4th. And then indeed not having the fastest lap is really robbing him from being equally in the lead. Payan making a mistake though, still there. I think that ruins his chance, except if Shooter is really out of fuel on the final part. He's gonna make it! On the dams! And Filthy in 4th, and Funk unfortunately not on the podium, but drove a very good race. And was out of fuel, I think, in the final straight. Wow. This was like a race that was action-packed all the way through. And also because of was very much more mistake-prone, of course. My goat of the day is Jack for not refueling. Amazing. Oh, he put the wrong tires on. Okay, so he needed to pit anyway. Put the wrong tires. Oh my god. Oh no. So well done to everyone. I think I was indeed correct that Filthy finished in 4th, getting 18 points, and he was 19 behind, so he is indeed 1 point behind Slibby for the final round. And it also means that there, I think, are 20 for Payan, and Payan was, I think, 60 behind? I think even more. No, 58 he was. But he gains that on Slimmy, of course, those 20 points. So he will be 38 behind, if I'm correct. And that gives him a chance, a very much outsider chance, but it is possible. Oh, Ross says 2 points. So thank you all for tuning in here. I have to be here next week. I know that for sure. We'll go to Spa-Francorchamps for the last round, and it will be a showdown between two guys, because I said this about Payan, but technically you can only score, I think, 43 points in a weekend. And of course, everyone you finish. Oh, I think I know why Slimmy has 2 points of a lead. He'll still be classified as last, which grants him a point. So that's also, that would mean that that would actually mean that it is very hard for Payan actually to win it, because they will always score a point or two. So you can't even gain the full 43 on someone, you can gain less than 40. So it's gonna be a very great finale, and I hope you will be with me not tomorrow, next week on the Monday, the Tier 2 final between Slimmy and Filthy. And for now, I wish you all a very good night and see you then. So bye bye.